Good morning, friends. Mark Holmes here with my buddy Cowboy Joe Boo, as well as Joe Bear in the house. And as always, I want to thank you guys for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Joe Boo Sports Report. Without you guys, this doesn't work without you guys. So let's get open for business here. And let's wake up, my football gods. Wake up here, guys. Wake up. How's everybody doing on this Thirsty Thursday? We are one day away from Friday and the weekend coming up, and we only sit 38 days 10 hours, 59 minutes, and 50 seconds away from the Dallas Cowboys kicking off with the Los Angeles Rams. And today is an important day in the NFL because today is the last day for players to opt out. So, there's been some. There's been some that have been kind of, high risk. Some guys that have newborn kids, babies, or wives that are pregnant and they don't want to risk it. And you cannot blame anybody, and I mean anybody, for wanting to protect their family. And so, thus far, through the course of the 2+ weeks that the Dallas Cowboys have been testing their players, so far, knock on wood, nobody's tested positive, and it seems like the team is beginning to get together. And we actually will start seeing the players on the field around the 12th. Well, I don't know if we'll actually see it, but they'll actually be on the field starting to do, helmets, of course, shorts, and then padded practices somewhere around the 16th. It's kind of sad because I was talking to E2 Blue yesterday, and we had been looking forward to actually being in Canton today for the beginning of preseason, where the Cowboys were supposed to take on the Steelers, but, the world has changed since then. But it is what it is. Yesterday, Randy Gregory, his kind of showed a little bit of his frustration with the NFL process because he's itching to get back out on the field with the rest of his teammates and things. Basically saying that, I've just been kind of given the runaround and, hurry up and wait type deal. But says that he's, gotten his life on track, that he's doing the things he's supposed to do, and he wants to get with the team to start working out and things. The NFL, of course, is basically saying, sit down, shut up, take a number, we'll get to you when we get to you. And you do have to also realize that the NFL does have quite a few things going on. Right now, normally the season would be in cruise control because we'd already have all the training camps opened up. They'd be getting ready for, the Hall of Fame induction, and everything's good. But because of all these things that have come at them, because now you're dealing with coronavirus and players opting out and, people testing positive and going in and false positive tests, that there's a lot of things now that they're dealing with that they didn't anticipate having to deal with, especially after going through and dealing with the collective bargaining agreement from originally getting that done to then having to go through and renegotiate it because of the coronavirus. So you got to look at it and say, you got Randy Gregory, who's the few, versus the whole NFL trying to have a season through a pandemic. Randy Gregory, who's the few, versus the whole NFL trying to have a season. So I can understand both points of view of, Randy Gregory looking at it and saying, hey, what about me? But I can also understand the NFL having their hands full trying to get a season on. So they'll get to him, hopefully sooner than later, because with him not playing as long as he has, you would love to see him there for the strength and conditioning to start getting, his legs underneath of him and things. But at this point, getting Randy Gregory would be more of a bonus, a little added extra. And anything you get from him would be something you shouldn't count on. So that's our hope right now. Amari Cooper, literally shooting for the moon with 3,000-yard wide receivers. That would be unbelievable if that were to happen. That would be, you think, is it possible? Well, had we not had so many plays called back last year, if we had not had, because Randall Cobb had 3 touchdowns that were called back. Some of them were legitimate calls. Some of them were kind of crazy calls like tripping. If we had not had so many dropped, which I believe was 46, you could definitely see that the Cowboys could have had 3 this past year. So it's not beyond the realm of possibility with CeeDee Lamb replacing Randall Cobb, that could happen. It's possible. I think with Mike McCarthy, we're going to see a much more dynamic offense than what we've seen in the past. And with Zeke Elliott saying that everybody's going to eat, I think this team is getting excited about the possibilities that they're learning the new. Well, it may not be that many new plays. It may be when and how you use them. The Cowboys, in my mind, too many times relied on old school football, which is run Zeke on first down and see what we get. But a lot of times in key games, we would start out and you might pick up a yard or two, or you might lose a yard or two. And now it's 2nd and 8, or 2nd and 9, or 2nd and 11 and 12. And that makes it a lot harder because now it's forcing you into passing down, and more so teams will package against what you're going to do. You know, you're going to run on first down, so we got our heavy in. We know they're going to have to pass now on 2nd down, so now we got our pass defense in. But if we can get to the point where we keep them on their toes, having, the 3 receivers that we have, having Blake Jarwin, who's more of a passing threat now than Jason Witten was, and of course having Zeke Elliott, when you start using 11 personnel, which the Dallas Cowboys were better in than anybody else last year, averaging almost 8 yards a play, then all of a sudden you have so many different things that this team can do, and it's going to be interesting to see how it goes. The thing I'm happiest about more than anything else, because you have to be concerned for your team, how much work will they actually be able to get in before the season starts? There's no preseason games. There's no OTAs. And I know you've got, virtual meetings that went on, but a virtual meeting is not me out on the field running with my teammates. It's not me lining up and actually going through the plays. So the worry, of course, is with practicing not actually starting until around the 12th or the 13th, of actually going out and running the routes with your quarterback and wide receivers and things for teams, is how much cohesion will you have? The fact that Dak and Amari and Zeke and Gallup and CeeDee Lamb were getting together at Dak's house with still Kellen Moore, Kellen Moore is communicating with his quarterback on what they're going to be doing. That in itself was like practice. That was almost like an OTA. And that may end up being a distinct advantage for the Cowboys. Now, that's not to say that, other players weren't working out, because they were. You saw Pat Mahomes out there, throwing the ball around. You saw Carson Wentz. You saw guys traveling and working out with players. It seems like everybody was rotating cities and stuff. But to have, and we don't know how much they truly did. Uncle Phil, Dak's uncle, alluded to every day, Dak and crew were working out. Every day. If that is the case, that every day during this pandemic, because you can't go out and hang out, can't go out and party, can't do anything else, let's just go out on the field and just work. If that's the case, they may be more ready than anybody else, because they didn't have to travel anywhere to go do this. Hey, let's just go on down to Dak's house and run some routes. Where you have other guys that are having to travel from this location to that location for a few days to hang out. The Cowboys may have a distinct advantage when the season starts, being that they have it on the page. Because my big concern was having Mike McCarthy come in, that everything changes. Now, we're hearing the terminology has changed, but as Zeke alluded to, the plays haven't changed that much. There's new wrinkles with the plays. There may be different formations, but the play is basically still kind of the same play. So instead of it being vanilla looking, we're basically, you got a couple plays you're going to run off of this one. You may run 20 plays out of one formation, and so to speak. So from that standpoint, you got to feel excited about where we'll be, hopefully week 1. Who knows what we're going to see? You're going to see probably some teams that are going to come out like gangbusters more than usual and look like world beaters, and other ones that just look clueless. But that may change after that first month of the season, where that first month truly is going to be preseason. I'm excited one way or the other. We're going to be here for whatever we have on the field, and we're going to try and keep you up to date with everything that is the Dallas Cowboys. That being said, I got to go get these things varnished, and I got to go up here and finish this bathroom today. I'm Mark Holmes, and I hope you have a great day, and I'll see you soon.